Hey, hi. So, what goes into a health and safety management system? Really good question. I recently talked about what a health and safety management system is.
Really? When?
Yeah, I did a little over a week ago.
It's been a really long time.
I know it's been a while, okay? I've been really busy, but let's move on. In this video, I want to talk about the best practice approaches to what elements belong in a health and safety management system. As you may have guessed or ascertained, not every jurisdiction is the same as the other. In fact, we have no standards. They're all over the place and across the board. Some say you only need 6 elements, some say you need 12, and we got to meet in the middle with what would be a best practice approach. So stick around and we'll talk about what the best practice approach is for a health and safety management system. So let's get into it. Really and truthfully, like I said, there's different jurisdictions have different approaches to the elements that go into it, but I've put together, like I said, a best practice approach with what I think would give you a fine-tuned health and safety management system. Now, the first one you have to have is organizational commitment. I'm talking about the whole organization, top-down, executive, all the way, and bottom-up. So top down and bottom up. In other words, the whole organization has to be committed. And it's not just having a flowery policy on the wall. And we'll talk more about that commitment and what it looks like as we move through the series. Now, the next thing you need is the foundational element, the base element of any health and safety management system. That's hazard identification, assessment, and control. Now, some jurisdictions split them out. They have hazard assessment and they have hazard control.
Does it really matter?
It doesn't really matter, but they both have to be together however you do it. You have to have it. That's the necessary part of any health and safety management system or health and safety program. Now, the next thing you need to consider is health and safety committees. They have to be an integral part of your management system because I've talked lots about health and safety committees and how important they are to any health and safety management system. And you know what? I'm not going to beleaguer the point. I'm just going to say that there's links in the description so you can have a look and see what I mean. Now, the next thing that you have to pay attention to is safety training and instruction. It has to be within your safety management system, and I'll talk more about what it looks like as we move through this. But just some examples, whether it be WHSMS or GHS, depending on your jurisdiction, transportation of dangerous goods, fall protection, violence avoidance, equipment safe use, moving equipment safe use, etc. There's lots of different things that would go into it, but usually training and certification have to be part of any health and safety management system. And of course, along with that goes safe work procedures or safe work practices, depending on what you call them, basically written instruction. And I know you're likely thinking to yourself, well, we have that, or they're tradespeople and they know how to do that. But no matter what, you have to have it because even though people may seem well-versed in doing things, well, you get these things. Yes, you need written instructions. This fella just proves it.
This is really unsafe.
Yes, he is unsafe. Well, he's acting unsafe.
It looks slimy and unsafe.
Okay, that's a little harsh. Let's move on. Continuing on with our elements, other worksite parties. They're often overlooked in health and safety management systems or programs altogether. And I'm talking about contractors, vendors, suppliers, volunteers, inspectors, etc. that come onto the job site that aren't necessarily your employees. They have to be addressed in your health and safety management system. So we'll be talking about contractor and vendor management and, well, other worksite parties as we move through this. The next piece is workplace inspections. You might have heard them called worksite inspections. Basically, they're another piece of that proactive hazard assessment or hazard identification assessment and control process. And so we'll talk more about what worksite inspections are, what they look like, and how they fit into that health and safety management system. Now, the reactive piece is incident investigation. I've done a whole series on incident investigation theory and practice. There will be a link in the description, so I suggest you have a look at it. Maybe watch the rest of this video first and then go have a look at it. Incident investigation is integral to a health and safety management system because incidents happen and they have to be investigated so preventive measures can be put in place. That's the short answer. Now, the next piece is emergency planning and response. And it has to be part of a system. And a lot of times workplaces say, well, we've never had a fire or no big deal, or they make a plan and put it on the shelf. And as a colleague of mine says, well, it's emergency response, not emergency research. It has to be part of your system. And now the last piece, and I've saved it till the end, these aren't in any particular order except for this one. And that's the system administration, how your whole entire management system is administered, what it looks like, who's responsible for what, and of course, auditing. In other words, proving you're doing all of these activities and doing them well and continuously improving. You need it because, well, look at this. And I see this lots when I do inspections where I've been accompanied or accompanying groups on inspections. And so you need to have more than just your safety management system. You need to have your ERP audited as well.
That looks dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. You bet. The next piece, and I get asked this quite a bit, do we need to be certified? Or do we need to be have our safety management system certified? It all depends on your jurisdiction. All depends what they require, your authority having jurisdiction requires. Some jurisdictions provide incentives. They provide premium rebates. They provide a reduction on your premiums. They provide all sorts of different incentives. But I will talk as we move through this, the other intrinsic, maybe they might be extrinsic. Well, we'll have to look at that definition, but there's other benefits to having a health and safety management system. You're going to want to know, what do you pursue? Do you pursue certification? Do you just have a good functioning health and safety management system? That's going to be up to you, and we'll journey through this together, and I'll talk more about it with each of the elements that I'm talking about in each of the videos that belong in the series. But realistically, when you get right down to it, a well-functioning health and safety management system means you have a well-functioning company or an organization. There is a return on the investment.
How much money exactly?
I can't tell you how much money. It depends on the company. But there is a return on the investment. It's just like having a finely tuned automobile. Automobiles have different systems, and if they're all working together, that automobile is finely tuned. Or it's like exercising, staying fit, eating right, getting lots of sleep. Okay, don't look at me for that example, but that's what it is. Having a good functioning health and safety management system, realistically, you have a well-functioning organization. One of the downfalls with a lot of groups is they get bogged down by policy. So have a look at this video here. I talk about the difference between rules and policy and how each might apply. Until we see each other again, and I really hope we do, don't just think about safety, don't just talk about safety, but be a safety influencer, be a leader, and provoke safety wherever you are. Okay? Take care. Bye for now. Now, where's my hat? Okay, see ya.